And now, a word from our sponsor. New England Coffee. It's not tea, but it is tax-free.
Welcome to another edition of the Colonies Tonight. Yesterday, December 16, 1773, throughout the colonies were protests about the proposed tax on tea and the monopoly of the British East India Company. In New York and Philadelphia, British ships carrying tea were not allowed to land. And in Charleston, stores of tea were unloaded, then locked into a warehouse. But it was Boston where the unrest became unruly. Now we send you to our correspondent in Boston, Ethan Smith, who will tell you what happened. Ethan, what exactly happened yesterday?
Joshua, yesterday afternoon, 3 British ships of the East India Company arrived in Boston. These ships were carrying tea. When word spread throughout the city, thousands of colonists came down to protest. There are estimates the crowd grew to over 7,000. The crowd demanded the ships leave the harbor. Samuel Adams called a meeting at the Old South Meeting House, and it was decided the ships must leave the harbor and head back to England. A message was then sent to Governor Hutchinson's office demanding the ships be sent back. Governor Hutchinson's office quickly responded that the ships would not leave and that they would be unloaded. The crowd was furious at this. It was then that a group of 200 members of the Sons of Liberty, some dressed as Indians, charged the ships and threw all the tea overboard. Joshua, altogether, 600,000 pounds of tea was either impounded, sent back to England, or destroyed yesterday in the colonies. Back to you, Joshua.
And now, a word from our sponsor. Wooden false teeth, when you care enough to carve only the very best.
Thank you for that, Ethan. To find out more about this complicated issue, we have invited the well-known revolutionist Samuel Adams, and from the governor's mansion in Boston, Governor Lord Thomas Hutchinson. We'll start with you, Lord Hutchinson.
Okay, now you have to do this one.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Burgundy. Why did you not just send the ships back to England and avoid all these problems?
This act is unfair. It leaves the East India Company as the only supplier of tea to the colonies, thereby creating a monopoly. And we have told the Parliament and King George that we will not pay tax on tea or any other goods from England until we are represented in Parliament.
We believe it is simpler to have one provider for tea for the colonies, and we have imposed a fair tax on it. We have spent a great deal of our money securing the colonies, and the French and Indian War cost the English taxpayers dearly.
Secure the colonies. We are more like prisoners, as my good friend James Otis said. Taxation without representation is tyranny.
King George and the Parliament have spoken. These acts against the East India Company and the Crown are intolerable. As we speak, Admiral Montague is putting together plans to close Boston Harbor. We will strengthen our military presence in Boston, and we will put down this mob.
This is not a mob, Lord Hutchinson. This is a revolution. The people of Boston and all the colonies have spoken. We will not stand for this one more second. We will be independent.
Thank you, gentlemen. This is all the time we have today. Stay good in the colonies.
And now, a word from our sponsor. Philadelphia Cheesecake Filling. The perfect dessert to serve whenever you're throwing a tea party.
Yum!